Hey, good mornings, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, there's at least three stories that I want to talk about today. At least three videos I hope to make, maybe four. Okay, the first story, this video is going to be about Representative Ilhan Omar and her being upset about the gospel singing on the airplane. The link for that is going to be right down below. The best link I could find will be right down below where you can get the story. I think it's NBC. You can get the story. You could actually see a video of the gospel singing on the plane. And the cool thing is there's an insta vote where you could vote how you feel about this. Would you like to, do you think gospel singing on an airplane, do you think that'd be fantastic and wonderful? And you could, you could vote all the way in between. The interesting thing, there's at least 80% of people that are closer to it would be a nightmare than, and the interesting thing too is the people that voted for it voted like hard, extreme for it. That's people that thought it would be great and wonderful. So this link will be right down below so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, then there's two other stories. Four African American kids taken into custody in Minnesota. And then another story about a lawmaker saying that being gay is against the Constitution. All right, I'll get to those in another video. Okay, let me start with Representative Omar's view of this. After this video came out of the gospel singing, apparently there was like spontaneous, there was maybe a religious group, I don't know if it was a group of people on this plane, and a spontaneous gospel singing broke out at like 30,000 feet on this plane. And there's pictures, you can see some pictures from different people's faces, and not everybody looked overjoyed about this. Okay, let's look at Representative Omar's take on this. Her point was that this isn't cool because it's this assumption that America is a Christian nation, that freedom of religion is great as long as it just pertains to freedom of Christian religions. Her point was that if, say there was a call to prayer, you're on the plane and like in Islamic countries where they have a call to prayer 7 times a day, I think it is. Imagine if you're sitting on the plane and there's a call to prayer and people put I don't want to mispronounce or call something something it's not, but say they started a service for Islamic people on the plane. What would happen? What do you think would happen? This was Representative Omar's point. What do you think would happen? That plane would probably have an emergency. I guarantee that plane would have an emergency landing. Now you say, well, there's a reason for that. Okay, what if it was satanic worship, Satan worshiping, religious freedom? What if like a death band, heavy metal death band, death metal, broke out singing on that plane? Praise Satan, that wouldn't be too cool. Not too many. This is my point. This is the problem with the situation. It's a captive audience. You're a prisoner on that plane. I've had instances of social anxiety before, and I don't know how I react. Being 6'3" too, I can't afford the first class section. I could barely move in those seats, and I tried to picture myself. If all of a sudden people started singing and bouncing in the aisles. And with some social anxiety, what would really start to freak me out is if there was a lot of eye contact, people getting close to me and looking at me and expecting me to react or sing. It would freak me out. I don't know if I would have a really bad reaction to this. My examples are like Jehovah's Witnesses. How many people enjoy Jehovah's Witnesses coming to the door? Imagine if they came to your door and you'd have to stand there and listen to everything they say. Most people don't. I don't know. I wouldn't, but you can still shut the door. You're not a captive audience. On this plane, there's these people that don't want to participate. You're forced to participate. Actually, you're in that service, as you have to remain seated and listen and almost not actually physically participate, but you're being forced to be part of this service. That's my problem with this. Okay, let me talk about myself, people, if you're not familiar with my channel. All right, I was raised Catholic. I was confirmed and everything like that. I became clean and sober. I got clean and sober 15 years ago. And one night when I particularly, I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. There was a Bible in the drawer next to my bed, and I started reading it. And it helped me with recovery. We're supposed to have a higher power. So I got in the habit of praying every night for the last 15 years. So I don't consider myself a religious person, but I have faith. I have very strong faith. Now, I'm not a Bible waver or anything, and I don't think I've ever done this before, but this is the Bible that I use every morning, and I hold it. This is my cross from when I was confirmed and everything, and it's become part of my daily routine. Now, this is personal to me. My faith and interaction with my higher power is a very personal thing. This on the plane, now I know in the Christian religion, I believe that as part of being Christian, I think a lot of Christians believe it's their job to spread the faith, to preach to others, to save others. Let me point this out. I think a better way, instead of forcing people to hear your sermon like this on this plane, a better way would be to lead by example. Be a better person, like charity drives, doing things to help other people so that people see this and want to emulate you. Otherwise it starts to look like do as I say, not as I do with a lot of these preachers. I know that's part of the Christian religion, I think, and that's where, to me, it's very personal, but to some Christian people, they feel that it's part of their job as being a good Christian to push their Christianity on other people, to save them. And that's not me. That's not me. And honestly, I think it drives away more people than it would attract. People are more likely to emulate. If they see something they admire, they're more likely to emulate that, other than being told what's good for them, what will save them. I had this one example, analogy, and I don't know if it's good or not, but there's a hill here in town, going a steep hill leaving the town, and people drive. There's 2 lanes going up, and people drive like lunatics going up this. The faster one person goes, the faster the other person goes. And as you're coming down in the single lane, they're almost coming into the other lane, driving dangerously. This happens every day, day in and day out, with people just flooring it, trying to pass each other going up this hill all the time. I don't do that. Personally, I don't do that. I drive the speed limit. And this is what I noticed too. When you drive the speed limit, like a truck or a car, a lot of times it's these big trucks that'll pass me out. But then they see that I'm not racing them. They expect a race. They expect pushback. They actually slow down. I've seen this time and time again. When they see me doing the speed limit, especially when other people are just doing the speed limit and they're flying up the hill, they tend to slow down to the speed of everybody else. Whereas if you race against them, it just goes faster and faster. I don't know if it's a good analogy, but it's better to lead by example. People are more likely to follow your example. So this is my argument to Christian people. Let me say this. There's a clip down below that shows this singing on the airplane. And to be honest with you, if I looked at it from one point of view, if I wasn't a captive prisoner and forced to watch this, if I was seated on the plane and being forced into this situation, it might look nice. It might actually look nice. The guy's singing, playing the guitar. It's a decent melody, and he's got a decent voice. The part I like is I'm always glued to the window in these planes, and the video drifts to above the clouds, and that always has this beautiful heavenly look, if you will. And I could understand that some of these people might be inspired the beauty of being above the clouds, heaven, and I can see it. I get it. But other people don't. There's people with social anxiety, and people just don't want to be part of this. It'd be best if this is so important, maybe have a part of the plane where people, if you want to sing gospel and praise the Lord, do it somewhere where you're not forcing other people to be captive prisoners to your religion. But anyway, Representative Ilhan Omar had an excellent point. If this was any other religion, Buddhist, I can't think of all 7 religions right now off the top of my head. Usually I could name them like that. If this was any other religion, people would be all over this. And that is not true freedom of religion. That's what this country was founded on. That's why the Pilgrims came here, to get away from King George, the taxation and freedom of religion. And that doesn't just mean different types of Christianity. That means all religions and non-religion. All right. I'll be back later. I will be back later with another video. You guys have a great Tuesday.